Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Arnav Jain and today's topic of discussion is the Stoic Revolution, the secret blueprint to achieving success in 2023. Guys, you see, the topic of Stoicism is highly glorified in the self-help community. But the fact is, Stoicism is not a new concept. It actually dates back to a wealthy man named Zeno, whose life's riches and goods unfortunately drowned while traveling through the sea. You see, many people, including you and me, will probably become depressed, sad, and just want to cry their eyes out when such an incident happens to us. But you see, Zeno was different. Zeno was a Stoic, right? Zeno understood that at that point, there was no point in crying or expressing excess emotions. Because what has happened had happened, right? And there was no going back. Zeno understood that now he was on borrowed time and he had to find a way to get back his old reputation, right? Zeno at that point was a broken man disguised under a wealthy one, waiting for doom to arrive on his doorstep. Now you see, Zeno is the father of Stoicism. He created the principle of not expressing excess emotions, just accepting what happened and moving on with it. You see, I'd argue personally, expressing excess emotions can actually act in detriment of your intentions. Because you may not want to spill out that information, but just speaking and talking about a concept or a topic you like, you may just accidentally do it, right? And it may come to bite you in the butt in the future, right? So Stoicism is not a philosophy, it's not a technique, it's not an idea, but it's a way of life which needs to be practiced if you wish to achieve success in 2023. Guys, you see, the philosophy of Stoicism greatly relies on the fact that you need to only focus on the things you can control and need to ignore the things you cannot control, right? In the situation of Zeno, he could not control the fact that all of his life's work just drowned in front of his eyes. But what he could have controlled was the way he reacted to the information, right? If he started to cry, if he started to show excessive emotions, his personality would have looked like a weak person, right? If you were a bystander looking at a grown man cry, the instinctual reaction is not to understand the context, not to understand how the person's actually feeling, but to just judge him by what you see in front of you, right? You as a human being, you as an individual need to understand that you and you alone need to have control over your emotions, right? So the thing is, we don't have much control over external factors. You do have control over the way you react to those external factors, all right? So if Zeno would have wasted his time reacting to his loss, he would have lost the time he had to rebuild that wealth, rebuild that status, right? Rebuild that name, right? So you need to understand, you need to play as objective as possible, right? The whole purpose of emotions is to make your life more enjoyable, right? Make your life more interactive, make your life more memorable. But the whole concept of objectivity and reality is to surpass the limitations of emotions and achieve what is most rational and what is most efficient to achieve your goals, right? So only accept your goal based on the amount of work you put into it and not on outside factors, all right? You need to only accept your outcome based on how confident you were with the sample you provided and not on external factors, all right? I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm recording this video. I can only focus on my content. I can only focus on the way I speak. I can only focus on my editing skills. I can only focus on my camera quality. I can only focus on the way I'm dressed, the way I appear on the camera, right? I can only focus on the headings I type, the comments I reply to, right? But the fact of the matter is, I just cannot control if this video is going to be there on the YouTube algorithm or not, right? So me as a potential Stoic need to accept the fact that my results for this video are only going to be possible if I provide my best into giving you guys the best content I could, right? And just leave the grading part to the YouTube algorithm, because it's something I just cannot control, right? So regardless of fact, if I get 1 like, if I get 5 likes, or if I get no likes on this video, I need to understand I gave my best, and now it's because of the YouTube algorithm, something I just cannot control, is why I wasn't able to succeed with this video, right? Same is with you in every example of life. You need to just conquer the factors you have in your hands and just pray to God that the external factors are taken care of. Guys, you see, humans are very resistant to change, especially changes which are unknown or sudden. But the Stoic philosophy teaches you to just embrace change. It's a part of life, right? Similarly, like evolution was a part of life, right? You had to grow, you had to adapt if you wanted to survive. Similarly, change is an inevitable part of your life, right? You're probably gonna shift jobs, you're probably gonna fail in your exams, you're probably gonna have your close family members or friends die. You need to accept it. There's nothing you can do to go back in time and change it, right? So you as a human need to understand you have certain physical boundaries that you just cannot cross even if you want to, but you need to embrace change, right? Now you see, a way you and I can make this path of embracing change much more easier by adapting long-term solutions to it, right? One will be expressing delayed gratification and harder experiences in your life. What do I mean by this? Harder experiences can be as simple as just going to the gym, training as hard as possible, or accepting a hobby, right? Like mountain climbing, all right, or cycling. Just training yourself to your maximum capacity is going to be very good for A, achieving discipline, and B, being ready for those hard parts of your life when you need that stoic mindset, right? At the same time, achieving delayed gratification is going to be essential for you achieving the stoic mindset, because delayed gratification techniques can be as simple as skipping out on junk food, because you know that 5 years from now, if you don't eat this junk food, your health is going to be much better, right? Or skipping out on scrolling through Instagram, and if embracing the fact that you are tired and just going to bed an hour early, right? Small things like this is what's going to build that discipline and that stoic mindset, and is in fact going to modify your life 3 years, 5 years down the road. You may not understand this today, and you may think it's very hard to adapt to today, but trust me, 5 years from now, you are going to thank yourself so much. Guys, you see, the whole concept of Stoicism relies on the fact that a human being who accepts Stoicism as his life philosophy or her life philosophy should accept the fact that the most peace comes in an understated life, right? What do I mean by this? You all probably have heard of this saying, don't tell them what you are, show them what you are, right? And it's very accurate, especially in terms of Stoicism. You need to have an understated life, right? Don't wear very flashy clothes like I am, a yellow polo, right? Don't wear very flashy clothes. Don't talk very boldly, all right? Don't brag a lot. Don't act like you're superior to others, right? What happens is, especially people who have a lot of power, they tend to think of themselves as superior beings just because they have too much money or just because they have jacked body. You need to accept the fact that we all are humans, we all are the same, right? And we need to embrace that fact, and we need to acknowledge that if you actually start to express more emotions, you are building a sinkhole for yourself to fall into, right? If I brag a lot, people are going to think I'm an arrogant person, and over time my friends are just going to start to distance themselves from me, and I'm going to inevitably become lonely, right? So as a Stoic, you need to understand and embrace objectivity and think of every situation with utmost objectivity and see what action is going to give me the best results, right? So as a Stoic, you need to understand, if you brag a lot, people are going to develop hatred towards you, and you are going to end up lonely, right? Similarly, if you just don't talk at all, people are going to disassociate from you and just going to ignore you because you are not engaging enough for them to have conversation with, right? So you need to maintain that balance, and you need to understand when to speak and when not to speak, right? And how to speak in all sorts of circumstances, right? At the same time, with that being said, I have seen a lot of people confuse Stoicism with emotionless, right? What happens is a lot of people in the self-help community end up becoming emotionless instead of being Stoics. And there's a very huge difference between the two. You see, emotionless is someone who just cannot experience any sorts of emotions, whether it's being happy or being sad or being ambitious or being proud or anything, you know. But whereas a Stoic, he or she experiences all sorts of emotions, but he or she has the self-control to understand when and if they should express that emotion and to what degree, alright? You know, let's say someone is betraying you in front of your eyes, you just cannot be a Stoic and just sit there and just not do anything, right? If someone's doing something which is harming you, you need to stand up, you need to speak up, and you need to block that person out of your life, right? That is how a Stoic should act. But you know, at the same time, you should not just become very violent and just start punching and just beating and just screaming, you know, and just going out of character. That's also not how a Stoic should act. Alright, so as a Stoic, you need to understand that you have, as a human being, you will experience all emotions, but you have the final say in if you will express that emotion and to what degree you will express that emotion, right? So let's say you make your first ever $1 million, right? You will feel so ecstatic, you will feel so happy. You have all the rights to express that emotion, alright? You're not gonna turn out as vulnerable. You will actually feel like you are human because you're enjoying the fact that you have achieved one of the most difficult milestones in a lot of people's lives, right? So embrace that, right? You pass high school, embrace that. Every day you won't pass high school, right? Every day you won't get a college degree, every day you won't get your dream job or buy a dream car or buy a dream house, right? When you actually achieve these glamorous goals, you need to embrace them, you need to feel happy for them, right? At the same time, when you're being wronged, you need to stand up for that, but to a limited degree, right? And you need to be able to control your anger and your sadness, right? With all of that being said, Stoicism is a very hard lifestyle to adapt to, and it will take a lot of time to transition from your regular life to a Stoic life, and you may come across a lot of hurdles, and that's where I am there to help you out, right? Reach out in the comment section, I'm there to help you out, right? You need to understand, being a Stoic is something very uncommon, right? So you need to get used to the social stigma that comes with it. You know, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're really falling for that self-help, self-help guru lifestyle. Like, just ignore these sort of people. The fact of the matter is, these people are too weak to actually attempt the Stoic mindset, so they're trying to belittle you because you actually have built up the courage to do so, alright? So yeah, at the end of the day, I hope this video was useful to you. I assure you, if you actually follow everything said in this video, it's going to be very, very easy for you to achieve this true Stoic mindset. So with that being said, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, do it, right? It greatly helps me out. Ask any questions in the comment section, and yeah, have a nice day. Peace.